All right, welcome to another episode of the Dawk Show, where we talk about digital audio workstations and music production in a way that just honors wherever we're at on the producer journey. And my guest today, located in a very different time zone than mine, is Agnethe of Arctic Bird Productions. Welcome to the show, and yeah, tell the audience where you are in the world and introduce yourself.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes, I am in Denmark, which is a small country in Europe. And just if there's any confusion, it's not the capital of Sweden, because we hear that sometimes.
Hmm.
It is its own country. And
It's yeah.
have you ever
It's
been?
not the Nether. I've never been. I'm like, it's like not the Netherlands. It's not Norway.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's not Sweden, not Norway, not the Netherlands. It's Denmark.
It's
Yes,
Denmark.
also not Germany, but you knew that.
Yeah.
It's just on top of Germany, actually. So I'm very
Okay.
close to Germany because I'm in the southern part, close to the border.
Okay.
So that's fun. Uh, and yeah, I have been producing songs for a couple of years. Actually, started during COVID, learning all about music production, and I've just I just fell in love with it and kept doing it. And yeah, and because of our mutual friend Chris Bradley, I'm sure, uh
Hmm.
I also started my own production company, and which is Arctic Bird Productions. So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And I guess tell folks a little bit about the stuff you do under Arctic Bird Productions.
Right, so I have been collaborating a lot with different people, producing different kind of, I would say, variations of pop stuff.
Hmm.
It's mainly pop, which is also pretty interesting. But because before I started learning to produce music, I would only call myself a singer-songwriter, maybe like jazzy singer-songwriter stuff
Hmm.
type music. And I did not like pop music, or at least I thought I did not. But then I started producing, and that it's just so much fun. It's the funnest to produce pop music, I think. So
Yeah.
that's yeah, I just yeah, that's what I do. And then but I have to say that actually after spending uh more than a year really only just like focusing on Arctic Bird Productions and producing for other people, I decided around New Year's to pivot. So now I'm back to doing music in my own name,
Mm.
and I'm preparing to release a record later this year.
Awesome.
Actually, yeah, a self-produced one, of course, mainly.
Hmm.
So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at.
Very cool. Very cool. Yeah. And so, okay, so one thing I have to ask, when you were starting to do more pop production, like
Uh-huh.
what were some of the interesting aha moments that made you like pop?
Yeah, good question. I think it's just, I think maybe it's all the synths. I don't know. I mean, there's so much you can do. Well, I guess, I mean, I have been dabbling in other genres, but I think pop is pretty easy going, but
Mhm.
it's also, I mean, you don't have a lot of crazy harmonies and all that stuff.
Mhm.
Like I used to do a lot of jazz as well, and
Okay.
for me to produce like a jazz record would be crazy complicated. I would have to be, I think, a better producer. Plus, you need, or I don't know, maybe that's not true, but at least you need a lot of like live instruments and stuff, right?
Right. You gotta have like people in the room and like it's
Exactly.
more
Yeah,
free form and like if you tried to
it's
get
a
people
different
on the
level.
grid, you descended to madness.
Yeah. And I think this is the fun of being able to do everything in the box is
Mhm.
really what drew me
Mhm.
in the beginning. And now I listen to, I mean, I listen to all different kinds of music, but a lot of pop as well. And I like a lot of the new stuff, and
Mhm.
just, kind of playing around with the, different effects and stuff. It's fun.
Yeah. Is there like a particular artist you emulate within the pop realm?
Uh not particularly. No, I use all different kind of references.
Okay.
I mean, I've listened to a lot of like darker pop, like Halsey and
Mm.
stuff like that. I like
All right,
that.
like the sad atmospheric stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
Cool. Yeah, and those have the best synths.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, I definitely found that the joy of doing it in the box, like where you have like all this power just inside the, the one program
Yeah.
and the different plugins you have, and it's just like, oh, my piano has become all of the instruments,
Yes, exactly. I mean, it is quite interesting because before I was kind of growing tired of just the sound of me and my piano.
Mm-hmm.
Me singing and my piano. And I guess in a way I've always been kind of drawn to doing everything myself. I mean, I've played with people and it's a joy and I like it. It's fun, but it's also a hassle, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I I've just always been drawn to this. Oh, as much as I can do myself, the
Yeah.
better. But it's and I mean it's also subjective, like, because music, you can't please anyone or everyone no matter what you do. But
Mm-hmm.
I was just kind of growing tired of it myself. And then I started this and I've been like, oh, I'm never gonna just, play me and the piano again. It's so boring. But now I've kind of started doing that again and I like it. So it's like different. It's maybe just knowing that I can do other things as well.
Yeah. Well, and I guess tell me a little bit more about this solo project.
to be to be completely honest, I think I was uh it it kind of became a little bit too much about, how can I make money,
Mm.
with the production company. And I mean, of course, doing what I love and all that stuff, but kind of, how can I get clients and, have people pay me to produce, which I still want, but I just needed to do something that was a little bit more just in alignment with what I feel like, and not
Mm-hmm.
maybe also having to either bend to other people's wishes or wants,
Yeah.
and also the rules for whatever a modern pop track sounds like or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
um so that was what spurred it on, I think. And then I just started writing a lot of songs again. And yeah, I'm gonna release it. And oh yeah, that's another thing, I did release one record
Mm-hmm.
and it's 10 years ago.
Yeah.
This year it's 10 years ago, so I was like, I think that's a good interval, right?
Right.
Every 10 years. Or at least for the second one.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
so actually, yeah, I
yeah.
was just gonna say the first single is gonna I'm gonna release it on May 26th, which
Okay.
which is to the day the date, or 10 years after the album was released. So I think that's quite fun.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, and of course, I feel like personal records are, they also are like, depending on your writing style, like they're like memoirs in a way. So like 10
Right.
years later, it's like, okay, cool. Where am I at now?
Yeah. And that's also a funny thing because I was always told, or like when I was younger and in general throughout my, songwriting journey or whatever you want to call it, that my songs are so sad. And I for a long time I thought that was a bad thing. Actually, it's only recently I realized maybe it's not, or maybe it's okay.
Mm.
Because I just have this, when thinking about it, I've been trying to push myself to write happier songs.
Uh-huh.
Uh, and now I've just decided to completely embrace it. And I've created this tagline called I write songs that make you cry.
Yeah, I've been seeing that, and I wanted to ask you what was going on with that, because I love that.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I think it was just this realization that, well, some people can make people dance. I can make people cry. We're not
Mm,
supposed to everybody do the same thing.
yeah.
And but also just um talking about this, this gap of 10 years of, lived life and all this stuff. Um someone recently listened to that album for the first time, and he was like, "Oh, there's so much pain in these songs," and my spontaneous response was, "Oh, I was so young back then," and then. And then right after, I thought about some of the newer songs or newest songs, and they're just equally as sad. And it's
Yeah.
just okay. I don't think I've developed that much when it comes to that, but
Huh.
that's okay.
I mean, a lot of people write sad songs, and like that, I think that's and that's the music that people want to sit with. Like
Right.
and that definitely, and it is interesting when people are like, "Oh wait, that was sad." Um, yeah,
Yeah,
like
but also
yeah,
if people tell me that they, they listen to one of my songs and they start crying, like I'm really happy about that.
yeah,
Or like that it moves something in them, right?
yeah. No, absolutely.
So,
And like I for myself, because I have the comedy background and I write these joyful songs, but like I always butt up against being told that, like, saying I'm a comedy musician, because it's like,
uh-huh.
no, we're going to feel the whole spectrum of human emotions.
Right,
But
right.
if you book me for your comedy show, I'll do the happy ones. But like,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
maybe not the grief ballad for the comedy show, but like,
Yeah.
but it does it it annoys me when it's interesting when people try to like pigeonhole different artists, and it's like, well, these are the emotions that you're set to, and it's like, no.
Yeah, I mean, anyone with a brain knows that we're all many different things and not just one thing.
Right.
Um, but I've also learned enough about business to know that if you want to capture someone's attention or like,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, with something besides your music, because let's just, face it that we won't get all the way just by, writing good music. That's just not how it works. So you have to kind of have like one thing that's really clear. That's what you stand for.
Mm-hmm.
At least this is what I'm trying to do. And then of course, when people get into my world and get to know me, they know that I'm a lot more than that,
Mm-hmm.
or they get to see that I'm a lot more than that. But you need that one kind of hook or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. So people see the songs that make you cry, and you're like, I like songs that make me cry.
Yeah, this is what I'm hoping. So,
Awesome.
um, yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Um, okay, so I want to start to circle to the track you brought to share today.
Yeah, so this track is actually one I produced a little while ago, maybe like a year or something. But I kind of went back and looked at what, I wanted to choose something that had some kind of fun elements, and I think this one does. And it is called Shoot. The
Okay.
song is called Shoot. And it is actually, I think it's a pretty good example of, I wrote it on the piano and the voicings are kind of jazzy, but then I tried to turn it into like a dark pop track.
Ooh,
So yeah.
cool.
You'll be the judge of how well I succeed.
Yeah, cool. Well, let's take a look at it, and
Mhm.
just, let it play for however like comfortable you want to give us the idea of maybe like a verse and a chorus.
I think that's perfect. Yes.
Yeah.
Great.
You've been acting kinda strangely for some time, I'm sure. All your songs have changed their lyrics, they don't rhyme anymore. The flowers in your window all lost their leaves, you say. But how is that my problem? care. Anyway, if I let my guard down in front of you, you'd pull out a semi-automatic and shoot.
And so
And so on. Okay. So there's a lot of interesting stuff here. I guess tell me sort of what all you have, and then we'll sort of break down the sections.
right. So up here I have the vocals.
Uh-huh.
And then different keys and synths and stuff.
Okay.
And and something called a dirt sax, as you could hear.
A dirt sax.
It's called a dirt sax. I mean, it's pretty dirty when you hear it.
Okay. Awesome.
And some guitar, but only towards the end. A sample, as you can see, that I probably kind of effed up. So this is where I don't remember 100%. And then some synth bass and some drums.
Okay.
And some percussion. And here are some breaks and the gunshots.
Yeah. Yeah, so and the risers were really cool too. Like that was a nice kick into, I guess it was the chorus. That was
Right,
nice.
yeah.
Um
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, well let's see. So you said this started out as like a piano part and then built from there.
Right, yeah. I mean, I wrote it on the piano, right? So
Okay.
just piano vocals, and then I had this idea that I wanted it to be kind of rough or dirty or like which is especially in the chorus,
Yeah.
which I think worked out quite well. I mean, maybe just as a small disclaimer that, as I mentioned, I did produce it maybe a year ago or something. So I might, change if I, let's say I want this to go on my new record, I'm probably going to change some stuff and, or at least, go through and see if everything is if I still want it to be that way.
No, for sure. So it's been a bit since you've listened to it. So are you finding yourself being like, ooh, I want to change
well,
this section?
I did listen to it in preparation for this. So
okay, cool.
I'm not super surprised about anything.
Yeah. Okay. Then why don't we start? Let's start with what's going on in the percussion and build up from there.
Okay, great. Well, yeah. I got a scratchy thing.
Yeah.
Maybe I should. I'll just
thingy?
solo out the percussion
let's,
here.
Things out.
And I'm pretty sure that all of these scratchies and toppers and stuff are from Arcade.
Okay.
Because I've, been a big fan of Arcade.
Yeah.
I mean, I still am, but
we've talked about Arcade a bit on this show, but yeah, Arcade, for those who don't know, is just this library of different interesting like sound kits, and you can like make all these. Like I used it for like tracking like ocean. I made an ocean keyboard. Did you know you could have an ocean keyboard? You can if you use Arcade.
Yeah.
But yeah, okay. So you have the scratchy. I like that you just named it scratchy thingy.
Yeah, thank you. Sometimes I don't. I sometimes also, because English is not my native language. So, but for some reason, because I learned to produce in English, right? So and everything, and most of the people I work with and all that stuff, we speak English. So that's just how I just label everything in English, even though I don't know exactly what it's called.
I'm a fan of naming things like that, even if you do know the word for it. All right, cool. So So let's talk about this. Let's see, the topper.
Like this is here. Oh, it has some. I think it has some kind of pan built into it. Mm. And here comes the scratchy thingy again. It's gonna jump to the next here.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So I wanted something, you know, kind of gritty sounding. I think gritty is a good word.
Well, and it does like I was noticing it like when it was, you know, in the mix, and it just kind of it almost like it scratches your brain in this interesting way. It like adds that little bit of ear candy that without it's
Right.
not super distracting, but it's very like, ah, okay, cool. This is helping it move along.
Oh, great. Yeah, I'm happy about that. Well, I'm really trying to exercise, you know, the rules of 4 and 8 or
Oh
the
yeah. Of having
just
a new
keeping it
thing every
interesting.
4 to 8. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Maybe I should just solo out these breaks here. So
Yeah.
how it goes into the chorus.
Sick.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, it's just okay. Oh, right. So it's double. It's up tempo. It's like double the speed.
Yeah.
That's why it's the scratchy thingy double.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. Right. And then and then I got the gunshots over here to kind of finish off the. And I doubled these. I'm pretty sure I got them from Splice.
Yeah.
So there's, you know, one, and then there's another one, slightly different. And I kind of felt, let's just
Yeah.
add on the gunshots.
Yeah. What like processing did you do on that? Because it definitely is like an aggressive sound cue, but it's
Sorry.
without being triggering. Bad pun, but like yeah.
Oh, right. Good pun.
Good pun.
Well, as looking at it, I don't think I did any processing really.
Okay.
So
just like volumes and stuff.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, they're pretty low on. Well, I guess I don't know. Yeah, this is one of the things that because it's slightly older, I'm pretty sure today I would do a bit more in terms of mixing and processing and stuff. But but yeah, but I'm also very much a fan of if it sounds good as it is. You know, don't need to do a whole lot. I was actually, this is a little bit like a side note, if that's okay.
Yeah.
But it's just because I was thinking about this, just because you just said triggering.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about this as someone who, lives in a place that has absolutely no guns. Is this, I mean, for you, is this like or would you say that for an American, for instance, that this is like a little, be careful with the gunshots in the production or something like that?
I mean, I did feel like a little bit like, ooh, okay, this is what we're doing. But yeah, I hadn't put it in your cultural context when I listened to it. So I was like, oh wow. But yeah, I feel like that might be a conversation of like, yeah, because my instinct is like, ooh, what if there's a little bit of reverb so it isn't, so it's a little bit nicer.
It's more like a door slamming.
Yeah, you don't want it to be, but that is the thing, you don't want it to be a door slam. You want it to still sound like a gunshot. And also, I do think, at least for my particular sensitivities of listening to it, I was like, that is an interesting thought of like, do you want to, if you release it, do a little bit of levels on theirs and then like test them on a bunch of random Americans and see how they do.
Yeah. I mean, because obviously I don't want to alienate anyone. I mean, like, again,
No.
you can't please everyone, but still, I think it's a little bit, it's interesting because, you know, sometimes we can be very ignorant, you know, towards other people's, cultural
Yeah.
contexts. And I mean, of course, I'm probably more aware of your culture than you are of mine, due to a lot of different reasons, but
Oh, for sure.
especially, you know, with the with the guns and all that,
Yeah.
it's just not a thing here, right? So I don't think a lot of people here would be like, oh, it's kind of just like, oh, it makes sense. The song is called Shoot, so there's a gun. Like, but
Yeah.
I've never even like seen a gun in real life. So, you know, that's kind
Yeah.
of where I come from.
Yeah. Well, no, for sure. And yeah, no, it's this is actually this is really interesting, and I think um yeah, I think that, you know, now that having heard it once and knowing it's in there, like,
Mhm,
you know, you can it's easier to adjust. I think,
mhm,
you know, with any time we listen to a new song, there's like a moment of processing that happens.
uh-huh.
So then knowing to expect it's there. And also like I don't know, we have gunshots and thing in songs you know, a fair amount. I think it's
Mm,
because I think it was one of the, even though it's called Shoot, the vibe was very like I was
mellow.
it was mellow. It was super mellow. And then there was a gunshot and it was like, okay. So
Right. Okay.
maybe the note is to build that tension and then
Mhm,
have the, like, I think if you build the tension even more and then
mhm.
have the gunshot, then like, you know,
So maybe it was actually more of a musical surprise than like a
yeah.
cultural one, if you
Yeah,
will.
no, I think it was a musical
Okay.
surprise. And then also like, oh, that's a gunshot. That sounds like a gunshot.
I'm wondering if I would ever release it, if it would have to have one of those explicit, you know, like a little E next to it.
I don't think it would need an E next to it, but I feel like that might be an interesting content conversation. But I do think musically it, cuz what happens of the journey of the chorus is you start mentioning semi-automatic, and so it's like,
Mm.
"Oh, okay. All right." You know, so there's an intensity that builds. So I feel like if like the intensity of the score builds even more and then there's a gunshot and the space, that might be nice.
Right. Okay,
Yeah.
that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Thank you.
Yeah. Cool. Yay. Let's keep journeying up.
All right.
Uh
Yeah. You want me to solo out the drums here and
yeah, let's see what we've got going on here.
yeah, that's pretty much, I
Yeah.
guess.
Pretty basic.
Pretty basic. Yeah. Some kind of weird clap, I guess. Oh, yeah. Just
Gotta
some
love some
more
weird claps.
gritty one.
There's a little hit there. Does that just say ooh? I know this says
Here it says crash.
crash. It does say crash.
Is that the one?
Tiny font. Yeah. Yeah, let's hear
Okay.
what that part sounds like. Cool. So that amps it up even more, and that lines up with, let's see if we actually, can you unsolo it and we can hear it in the mix?
Yeah. So there's like this kind of break going into the chorus, right?
Anyway, if I would let my guard down in front.
Like that.
Nice. Okay, cool.
I guess just a quick note on this, that if I were to remake it, I would probably also make these drums a little less loopy, maybe, or kind of, you know, maybe add in some extra patterns. So, well,
Yeah, or like a fill
just
or
as a
something.
thought. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Cool.
Mhm.
All right, let's wander up to the synths.
Here's the bass, the synth bass.
Cool.
I don't know if you want to hear that.
Yeah.
Well, it's just
Yeah. Just hanging out.
yeah.
Cool. And
just
then
playing some root notes.
Yeah, living its best life. Cool. And then you have the more melodic synth that it looks like it's kicking in over here.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's got a fun pulse to it.
Yeah.
Are you doing any sort
Now
of
you
like
mention
is that all in the synth, or is that like any sort of like
I did.
compression witchcraft?
Yeah, no, I don't think so. Actually, I did check, and and all of these like synths and pianos and stuff, they're all taken from the Anna too.
Okay.
So apparently you can see which faces you were in when you created the different songs, right?
Yeah. It's like, ooh, I was super into Anna too then, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Or maybe I just got it or something.
Yeah.
And I would say for my level at the time, and maybe also the plugin at the time, I probably wouldn't have it's probably in the synth, or maybe I turned some knobs in the synth and made it sound like that.
Okay, for sure. All right, cool. And then oh yeah, we get to the dirty saxes in this part.
Oh yeah. Yeah, they don't have like a group, they're just like separate. I'm not
Yeah.
Let's see. So this is, I'm just gonna unsolo so you can hear it with the rest
absolutely.
of the.
Yeah.
I've been reading you all my stories, mostly when you were asleep. All my words have lost their meaning. I feel like a bird without its beak.
Yeah, so it's just adding these little subtleties and
yeah, and and the way why it's chopped up like this is because it's from Arcade as well.
Oh, okay.
So I found one of those saxes that I liked, and then I just played different, got this long, and then I just chopped it up and put the pieces where I like them.
Nice.
So that was the process. Yeah. I mean, of course, if I were to actually redo it and release it, I would probably have someone play the sax.
Yeah.
Like a real one.
Yeah,
or something. It didn't have to be a sax. I think I like the kind of gritty sound.
Yeah, well, that's an interesting thing too. Like you could, if you have sax on there, and then maybe there's even like effects that could happen with the sax. Like I just had this thought of like, okay, what if it's like there's interesting things you could do. I don't know, going back to like that gunshot motif, but then having like the sudden like burst from the sax underneath it or something like that.
Right, right. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah, or in a way you could actually maybe replace the gunshots with like a sax, like so you don't have the gunshot, but more like a shot of something else that could kind of emulate would be an instrument.
Yeah, no, and I think that's a way to have those creative edges. Not that I'm like over here trying to produce your track or anything.
This is great. Yeah, I'll just send it over. You send it back when you're done with it.
Okay, great. Okay, we'll take this offline.
Right. So I guess there's a synth that I didn't color code correctly, but that is not important. Maybe just should we just hear all the keys together?
Yeah, let's hear all the keys together. That sounds good.
Okay. I think I had these. I thought they sounded like really kind of modern poppy to me. And I'm pretty sure actually that this this motif or whatever was from Make Pop Music.
Okay.
I think I got, like a MIDI pack of like pop something, and then of course I kind of manipulated it, hopefully enough, but I don't remember what the original was. So, uh, and I mean, of course,
Nice.
it's not so complicated that I couldn't have come up with it myself, but I like these, just to sometimes to get this inspiration from, or if I buy a MIDI pack and then just, starting from there and then developing my own from that or something like that, right?
Yeah. Oh, it's so interesting how like different instruments we get in these different packs can like put the creative process in like a whole different way. Like, and you can
Yeah.
almost like use a synth as like the prompt,
Right.
That's
Yeah.
a whole other kind of writing. But yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, I like how those two sound together.
Okay. I guess that's the same.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, cut it to make some room for the vocal, I think. Break. Oh yeah. I know what's happening over here.
Nice. Yeah, it adds that extra atmosphere.
Yeah, I'm actually curious what this. Oh, there's just. Okay.
Okay.
It's just kind of bringing a little bit more tone to the piano, I guess.
Yeah, it adds those extra vibes. Nice.
And I think
nice,
here
nice.
towards the end, yeah, I think I all right. Added a little extra harmony.
Nice.
To the synth. Yep.
Okay, cool. And then finally, we have.
Do you want me to solo out the vocals as well?
Yeah.
Both lead and harm.
Okay.
I guess, or I don't know. We can start with the lead.
Yeah.
So, oops, sorry. I guess now, I would probably record a couple of more doubles for the verses as well, but.
You've been acting kinda strangely for some time, I'm sure.
Nice. You have some good room on that.
It's actually just the CLA vocals.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'm actually surprised because well, this is actually another thing. I think this is recorded with an older microphone and then CLA vocals, and it sounds okay.
Yeah.
And then later I got the slate.
Uh-huh.
I don't think this is recorded on the slate, or maybe it is actually. Maybe it was just. Anyways, what I'm trying to get at is, I've been using my slate obviously because it's a super good mic, but now I've moved into a new place. I think that's the thing, because when I recorded this, I was still in a place that had a lot of wood, so it was very well treated and by itself, and kind of carpet on the floor. And now I moved in here where there's no treatment at all as of now. So I just recently realized that the slate is just because it picks up everything, right? So I've just been kept on recording vocals on it until I realized actually it doesn't really sound good because there's just too much going on. So now I'm only using my SM7B because it's a lot better for this room. It's
you sound you sound really tight. I was like, okay, great. But yeah, that is, and that's also, I guess, the condenser versus dynamic thing as well, right? Or
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, probably. I also, I will also say this, that even though I like producing and using the DAW as my playground, I still know very, very little about technical specs and stuff. And I seem to keep on being pretty ignorant towards it. So as long as it works and sounds good, I'm kind of like, works for me.
Yeah, no.
I mean,
same.
obviously, I know that there's a difference between the two kinds of mics, but
yeah,
exactly what consequences it has. Yeah.
I mean, if anybody's watching the show and wants to know about the different mics, know that a lot of times what happens, Google is your friend, but also I record with a condenser like a weirdo, and everybody else is recording with their dynamics, and I'm like, I have one mic and I use it for all the things.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I was also kind of brought up the way that I should use the condenser for recording. I don't know where that comes from, but anyways. I just realized way too late that I should just switch to this, and then my vocals sound a lot better. But anyways, but this is actually doesn't even apply to this track, because back then, well, yeah, I lived in a little wooden house, and that's super good for recording.
Nice.
Just wood all over on all the walls.
Yeah. Gives it this nice mellow feel. That's awesome. Okay, cool. So let's take a look at these harmonies.
Right. So here the harmonies are down here. So these are like, I have lead doubles in the chorus, and then I add a couple of extra doubles here in the last chorus to give it that extra. But here from this pre-chorus thingy, there's some harmonies. Whoops, sorry.
Flowers in your window all lost their leaves, you say.
Some weird breaths.
But how is that my problem? You don't care anyway. If I would let my guard down in front of you, you'd pull out a semi-automatic and shoot, 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 shoot.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, that's like really, that's like a really gorgeous build. I love that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's fun to play around with harmonies and make it a little bit more interesting than just the ahs and oohs.
Yeah. Well, and it looks like you have a sensible amount of layers. That always like when I'm trying to do harmonies, I'm like, how many am I gonna do? What am I doing? But it looks like you just have like everybody has a buddy and they're just
Yes, exactly. So it's just like I have the high one and it's doubled, and then the middle one that's doubled, and the one that's doubled, and then I just pan it. And this is something that I'm still not quite sure. Like I'm always a little like, oh, and I mean, so I've split it up into here on the top are for the verses, and then for the chorus. But I'm still sometimes a little well, at least I feel like I can still learn something about how exactly to pan basically. But and also I might have panned it a little, actually a lot too. But anyways, so they just here it's like 16 on each side, and then 20, so they just got a little bit extra. Oh, that doesn't make sense. Oh, right, that's because that's the verse and the chorus, so 16 and 21, and then 27.
Nice.
Because that just like that makes sense, to that kind of OCD brain. You have like two of each, and it's symmetrical,
you
and you
just pan
just
them off to the side, and then it fills out the sound a little bit more.
Exactly.
Yeah. Awesome. Let's just listen to a chunk of it with everything on, just to round things out with the show and tell.
Cool. Maybe we'll just start here from the second verse, right?
Okay.
I've been reading you all my stories, mostly when you were asleep. All my words have lost their meaning. I feel like a bird without its beak. The flowers in my garden all lost their will to grow. They've been watching you more closely than I ever dared. But now I know that if I will let my guard down in front.
Yeah.
Nice.
So here's the guitar as well.
Oh.
I was just thinking maybe we'll just, yeah, there's a guitar in the last two choruses. You
cool.
can hear that little picking. I'm just gonna play the last chorus and we can hear it how it ends.
Okay.
If I let my guard down in front
You can hear this little.
Oh yeah.
of you, you pull out a semi-automatic and shoot.
Ooh. Nice.
Done. Right.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, it was really nice, like taking it back and like listening to everything after we broke that down. That was nice. Thank you for breaking that all down.
You're welcome. Thank you for listening.
Yeah. All right, it has come time for the rapid fire questions.
OMG.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. Describe your favorite plugin as if you are a sugared up child.
Oh God. So there's this plugin called Movement, and it's awesome. No, it's just a cool plugin to kind of make everything you have move if you want, in a way that you know, in certain different ways. I like that. It's fun.
So it like moves things like back and forth, like and like
Yeah,
just makes it
or
more
like,
panning
or
and
it
stuff.
makes like yeah. Okay. The Pan Man I also really like to get
Ooh,
the, you
yeah.
know. Yeah. So I mean, I just okay. I also like the little altar boy
Oh yeah.
to you know, make those formants and stuff. Like that's fun.
Yeah.
Or change the formants, I guess.
Yeah, there's a little altar boys used on my or one of the songs on my album. But yeah,
Right.
it just makes makes things go into a monster voice. So it's like da 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 da,
Yeah.
and then you can like echo it and just like brr, 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 brr. So it makes the monster
Yeah.
voice.
Or like the chipmunk voice, right? Can also do the other way.
It can also do chipmunk voice. It's for monsters and chipmunks.
That's a perfect.
Not
if
a-
you're a monster or a chipmunk.
Not an affiliate.
We receive no money from monsters or chipmunks.
we receive no money from the monsters and the chipmunks. But talk to me if you want me to sponsor. Oh my goodness. All right. Cool. If you could create a piece of music technology purely by magic, what would you create?
Ooh. I guess. Huh. I just feel like everything that I think of already exists. So I feel like I should come with something that doesn't
question,
exist.
What's a plugin that is basically magic?
Well, I was just thinking like, ooh, I can just, you know, say something with my voice and it turns into, but there is already a device, you know, the Voclear thingy has that kind of thing. Or I mean, I guess what would really help me especially if I feel insecure, would be something that was like, with something to help with the mixing, but not
Mm.
like, because I know that there are like there's ton of stuff like that. Um, so I guess maybe something like a paired, like, kind of mixing thing, but paired with, like positive affirmations or something like that, that where
Yeah.
you're like, you're doing great. Yes. This
Uh,
is exactly how it's supposed to be.
it's just like it's like the Microsoft Clippy, but with this is I've described this before. I forget who I was talking to, but it's like Microsoft Clippy except with like a little beard and a sideways hat, and he's just like, it's great, or like
Yeah, I don't know that one, but see, it has all been invented.
yeah, okay. I'd be super into like little characters that just pop up and are like, hey.
Yeah. It's like, you have now entered the mixing process, and then you have these little
My
voices
mix
cheering
is
you
not.
on.
If your mix is trash, go to bed and wake up in the morning when your mix is not trash.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Um okay. What is one area of like of your production journey, like one skill you've learned that you're super proud of?
Well, I kind of feel proud of a lot of things.
Hmm.
Uh, This might sound like a cop out or like a way to avoid answering to a question. I don't know, but just I guess really just, the staying open to, you know, doing all kinds of things and, playing around with, as I said before, before I was like, pop music, but now I'm just like, oh yeah, give me, let me do some more of that because it's just fun. And also, yeah, I don't know, I guess just, I don't have like I don't think there's anything that I wouldn't
Mm-hmm.
use, or if, like I don't have any, I'm not angry at any plugins or samples or,
Mm-hmm.
libraries or anything like that. Yeah, but it's not that much an answer to your question.
Mm.
I guess, well, yeah, okay, I can say this. I can actually throw a track together pretty fast.
Mm.
Which is something that has allowed me to also create quite a lot of beats.
Mm.
Um, and in general, just, mm, yeah, be productive.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, that makes sense. And that is seems like a solid answer to the question. Uh
Cool.
yeah. Um
Mm.
cool. I guess before I round the things out, what is, I guess, anything else you want to say about production, or I guess one piece of advice you would give to anybody who is starting out on this journey?
Right. Um, don't wait for permission.
Mm.
That I think this is something I'm working with myself a lot, or telling myself a lot at the moment, not in terms of production, but in terms of a lot of other things. I think we can get really stuck in this. I should actually. An example is me creating content for social media.
Mm-hmm.
I can get very much stuck in the, is that how am I supposed to do this or this? Like, how is, like, as if there is like one right way to do it.
Yeah.
And I still just do it. And I think that's something I'm really happy that I am not super perfectionistic in terms of anything. So I can, just, I get stuff done mainly, or often. Yeah.
Yeah.
Enough. Or there's always
Yeah.
more to be done. But anyways,
Yeah,
yeah.
no, I
So
like the idea. Don't wait for permission. Yeah.
exactly. And of course, don't be a perfectionist. Like, you have to just get going
Mm-hmm.
and do.
Yeah. Yeah, there's that one quote. I think it was the Ira Glass quote or something where it was like, you are going to, when you feel uncomfortable about something, or it's because your taste isn't matching your talent isn't matching your taste yet, so you have like good taste and you're
Okay.
building your skills to that, so you're holding yourself to high standards, but you still
Right.
have to build your talent up. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
So
Exactly.
yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, that's just that's the process for everybody. So never give up.
Hmm.
That's the third piece of advice.
Never give up. I love it. All right. Well, thank you so much for being on the show. Where can people find you? All that good stuff.
Yes. So, I mean, I have right now, I'm kind of juggling two identities online. And the one that I'm mainly focused on at the moment is the one in my name, which is Agnethe Melchiorsen. I'm sure you're going to put it in the show notes so that people can, I don't have to, understand the spelling of it. And that's, I have a website and Instagram and Facebook, of course. And then I have the Arctic Bird Productions website and Facebook and Instagram. But I did actually create for the songs that make you cry. I was thinking, how can I, kind of, what is a good way to kind of get people into my world? Like people need some kind of, like a lead magnet or something like that. You have to, I want people to subscribe to my email list, by the way. So if you want to do that. And I did create I created a guide or a list of benefits from crying because I was like, okay, well, I've got the solution to which problem? Well, obviously, then you're not crying enough if you need my music to make you cry, right? But instead of just, repeating whatever you can find online when you ask, what are the benefits from crying? I actually asked ChatGPT, what are the benefits from crying? And of course, it gave me a lot of awesome stuff, but I was like, well, that's kind of boring. So I came up with my own. And you won't find them anywhere else online. So if you want those, they're on my, actually, it's arcticbirdproductions.com/benefits.
Okay, I love that.
There, that was a long context to why you get, or where you get the benefits.
No, that's great. I love it. Well, thank you so much for being on the show. It was great chatting with you and breaking down the track. And
yes,
yeah. Alrighty. Thank you so much for listening to the Dawk Show. Make sure to take a look at our show notes to find out more about today's guest. Please make sure to subscribe wherever you are listening and send it to all your cool music nerd friends. Okay, see you next time.